are so pumped!
Hello friends from Vancouver, British Columbia. It is cruise day! Yesterday, Mark and I flew from Anchorage, Alaska to Seattle, then up to Vancouver. We then took the train from the Vancouver airport to the waterfront, and we are staying in the Fairmont waterfront. We were given a free upgrade to a waterfront room. Mark and I can hardly believe this room. The window is just so huge, and the view is amazing. We love the water and the mountains, so this has been really fun to get to stay here and have this view. We are going to explore Vancouver a little bit more today, and our check-in time is 1:30 to 2 o'clock. This morning we woke up and opened up the curtains just as the Princess Majestic was pulling into port. It was really fun to watch them maneuver it and get it up to the dock. Then we went for a little walk and had some breakfast at Tim Hortons, which is a Canadian staple. We also checked out a steam clock in Gastown. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning. We're gonna get all our bags packed, leave them with the bellhop, and then we have reserved some bikes. There is a lot of waterfront bike paths here in Vancouver. We're gonna go explore a little bit before we get on our boat in a few hours. When I booked this hotel, I looked at the map and was pretty sure that we were close to where we would get on the boat.
So from up here you can see just like a stream of people, kind of like ants, going in right there to the cruise ship. All these cars in and out, going in and out to drop people off.
This hotel had a great workout facility, including a hot tub and a sauna, as well as an amazing heated rooftop pool with great city views, as well as views of the cruise ship dock. Well, somehow we ordered up perfect weather for our day in Vancouver. It's beautiful. We're getting these bikes here, and we're gonna take a ride.
Okay.
We have made it down to Stanley Park. We're going to be riding through this for about the next 5 miles. Tons of people are walking here. I'm wondering if one of the tour groups stops here to let people walk around. Great sea views, little beaches. We're really excited to make a ride around the park.
So on the north side of Vancouver, this whole 1,000-acre area is set apart as Stanley Park with public beaches and parks, and so we're gonna go explore the whole area.
Much easier on bikes. We didn't make it very far walking last night, but we're cruising.
Yeah, it's got some nice charm to it.
Brockton Point Light Station. I think that's sulfur over there. This trail here is really amazing because they have it divided up by walkers and bikers, and then they even have another trail for people that are biking really fast on road bikes. And then if you come together, you got to walk your bike, but it's a fantastic system. It's also just one way, so it's very safe and it feels great.
Nice.
Wow, look at this. I believe these are rhododendrons. Maybe I'm saying that right. They're gorgeous and they smell so good.
So big.
Yeah. That was an incredible way to spend our morning. We had so much fun biking.
So according to my GPS watch, we did 9.2 miles in an hour and 50 minutes. So
That's fun.
Yep, it was great.
We finally just saw a sign that says that it's 78 degrees or 25 degrees Celsius. How did we get so lucky? Okay, we just got our luggage back. Time for us to go head over to the cruise ship. Time has finally come to get on the cruise ship. There were signs that were very easy to follow to tell us where to go, and we first needed to go to baggage drop-off. Now, we did not print off bag tags before we came. It probably would have been a good idea. We waited in a line and they helped us get the bag tags on before we headed upstairs to get stuff from Princess. They gave us our medallions. These are going to be used on the ship to get us in and out of our room, to check in and off the boat. So we picked those up. You can have them sent to you beforehand, but we booked this cruise kind of last minute, so they had an easy check-in process for that. Then we headed back downstairs for security and U.S. Customs. This is where the line started to get quite long. We stood in line for a long time to get through the security. It weaved back and forth, back and forth. It took us about 20 minutes to get through the security line, and then the real waiting began. We were in customs line for over an hour. Lots of waiting. Oh, we finally made it through. That took a long time. Somehow we got siphoned off onto the international side right towards the end, and that was much faster.
I think an hour and a half total.
Hour and a half. Okay. Oh, that felt like quite the process. They're loading on all the luggage. We worked up a big appetite with our bike ride and now standing in line for an hour and a half, so we're ready to eat. So we made our way onto the ship, and the first thing that they have you do is scan your medallion so that you are checked in on the ship. And then we just walked into this grand hotel of a ship, and we were so lost. We had no idea what we were doing, so we found a screen and we're looking at it to see where we needed to go. We are total newbies when it comes to cruise ships. We had done really little research before we got on here, so we ended up walking around for a little while. They had music playing. We finally realized where our room was going to be and realized it was up a couple levels. The elevators were really busy at that time because everybody was getting on the ship. So we decided we needed a little bit more exercise, right? So we took the stairs up to level 9 and finally found our floor where our cabin was. That's our stuff.
And we're in 23, right? 20. This is our stuff.
So.
Here.
Here, it should say it on here.
Yeah, it's our stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Sit. Oh my goodness. So cool going in.
Oh, it's a nice closet.
Oh yeah.
Plenty of room.
Let's check this view.
Yay! Oh gosh. All right.
Oh, awesome.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a room tour before we bring our luggage in. Got the bathroom, we'll look at that in a minute. We've got a closet here. Safe. This if you get an adjoining room, which we didn't. We just have our bed. Stuff here. Desk and a balcony so we can see the beautiful views. A quick tour of the bathroom. sink, and a good sized shower. I'm excited and I'm hungry. Okay, so what do we have to do for these muster stations? That's what we need to figure out. Well, our luggage was already here. Mark already unpacked. We watched our safety video. We're gonna go to our muster station and we're gonna get our first meal. In case you've never been on a cruise ship, they have you go and check in at your muster station. This is where you would go in case of an emergency. We simply had to go and scan our medallions so that they knew that we knew where to go in case of an emergency. Check. Food.
Oh my goodness.
We're so lost. We don't know where we are.
Find somewhere to get a drink and a snack.
I had several of our viewers that have mobility issues ask how it would be to be on a cruise ship. I'm happy to say they had so many people there to help those that couldn't get around very easily every time we were getting on and off the ship, or just getting around the ship in general. I also saw several people on motorized scooters and they were able to get around the ship just fine. After getting our bearings on the ship, we headed up to the World Fresh Marketplace. This is the buffet on the ship. There are other dining options, but this one was the best choice for the time of day that it was. The main dining rooms had not opened yet. Everywhere was really busy on the ship, so we ended up here to get something to eat. And I will be doing a video all about the food on the ship. For our first meal, we went for some Indian food, some butter chicken, and the salad bar to make ourselves a salad. We were ready to get some food in our bellies. Okay, we got ourselves a little mocktail, watermelon, key lime, I don't know, what do they call it? A key lime?
Key West cooler.
Key West cooler. Cheers.
Cheers. I can feel the boat moving. We're moving.
We're starting.
Maybe it's all in my head.
We've been on the boat about what? 2 hours?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. We're excited. There's lots of options. We're figuring out how to use our drink pass. So we opted to get the, what is it? Like the non-alcoholic drink pass. So that we can get sodas, and then they have a few mocktails. I think it cost us about $100 each for the week. You had to buy it for the whole week. You couldn't just like buy a day. Lots of choices, lots of restaurants, getting our bearings. There's a lot to explore. That's what we've realized. It was really overwhelming when we first got on.
It was, yeah.
I felt very confused, but and lost. And the elevators took a very long time. So we've just been doing the stairs, which is better for our health. So we'll continue to do that as much as possible.
Well, we're finally underway. Just leaving port. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna pinch myself. I can't believe this is happening.
We're gonna head upstairs so we can watch ourselves go under that cool bridge that we biked by today.
Yep,
the Lions Gate Bridge.
We gotta go quick, I think.
Okay. For an awesome view of leaving Vancouver, we headed up to the 16th floor of the ship. This was also the perfect place to watch us go under the Lions Gate Bridge. They said that there is only 6 feet of clearance from the top of the Princess Majestic to that bridge. And then there was a fun performance by the Princess singers and dancers as we left Vancouver. All right, we are underway. We've got our bearings on the boat. We kind of know how to get around now. Thank goodness for the maps though, because we keep discovering new places we have not found. And we're about to head to dinner number 1 in the actual restaurant. The list of things you can order is very long. We are going to try not to make ourselves sick. Oh, but we're having a good time. This sunshine is incredible. We're having a lot of fun. There are 3 main dining rooms on the Princess Majestic where you sit down, get a menu, and order your meal. This includes bread, appetizers, a main dish, and dessert. You can choose to sit at a private table or at a shared table where you get to meet new people. It was a very fun experience, and the menu changes every night.
Oh my goodness. We just got back from dinner. This is so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Mark's taking full advantage of the round-the-clock food. He's ordered some food to the room.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I woke up and I couldn't sleep. And I thought, hey, I want a little snack.
You were hungry before you went to bed. What did you order?
Is that strawberry
Spritzer?
spritzer with jalapeno? Strawberries on fire? That is spicy. Wowzers. Whoa.
What did you order?
Breakfast sandwich.
Just a little midnight snack.
Just a little bit of snack. Don't want to ruin my breakfast appetite.
All right, friends, it is day 2 of our cruise on the Princess Majestic. Today is a sailing day, so there are no ports, but we are sailing up to Ketchikan tomorrow morning. We've had a nice leisurely morning. We ordered breakfast and had it on our balcony. We went and took a dip in the hot tub. It was not very hot, but it was really nice. We were able to see out and watch the, the mountains and the ocean go by as we were relaxing in the hot tub up on the upper deck. We're a little bit more on the open ocean today, so we do feel the boat rocking a bit. I was in the shower and it was a bit rocky, but not too bad. I don't feel seasick, and I do get seasick on small boats, so I'm doing fine. We're having a great time. We're really enjoying it. This balcony might be our favorite part. Just having the natural light coming into our room. I think if you do an Alaska cruise, a balcony is a must because the views are amazing. Now that we've been on the boat for a little while, we have our bearings. So today I thought I would take you on a tour of the Princess Majestic. So we're making sure to wear our medallions. It's pretty amazing. Wherever your medallion is, they can track you. I can find Mark by looking it up on my phone, or there's like kiosks around the boat where you can look up your shipmates. You can also send them messages through the app. We opted not to get the internet. I debated. It was about $110 for the 7 days. But I found that I just wanted to really disconnect this week, but the Princess app still works on our phone so that we can navigate and message each other, so that's really nice. We are internet free.
Yeah. Let's go get some food.
Yes. The amazing thing...
It's all right. It's good.
The amazing thing is that when you approach your door and you're wearing this, you don't even have to hold it up, but it unlocks the door for you. See it turn green? We didn't expect that. We kept thinking, why is our door unlocked? Well, as you approach and you're wearing this, it unlocks the door, which is really awesome. And Mark took a really funny picture. He didn't realize it was gonna show up everywhere on the boat when he took that silly picture, so we've had a good laugh about that. Let's go on a quick tour of some of the highlights of the Princess Majestic Cruise Ship. This cruise ship is a 19-level cruise ship. The magic starts on decks 5 through 7, where there is a 3-level piazza. This is at the center of the ship and has lots going on at all hours of the day, including live games, dancing, music. This is a very happening place to be at all hours of the day. There's also lots of shopping surrounding the piazza. A few great places to get food also surround the piazza. One of those is the International Cafe, which is open 24 hours a day, and you can get delicious desserts, sandwiches, pot pies, which they will heat up for you. And this is also one of the places on the ship to get coffee, We could not resist grabbing some desserts when we walked by to give them a try because they all looked really yummy. There is also a photo gallery surrounding the piazza. There are lots of opportunities while on the ship to get your photos taken. Then you can go and purchase them later on or purchase them through the app. There's also an art gallery to browse and buy art if that's your thing. Then we have Alfredo's Pizza, which is one of the complimentary restaurants on the ship. This is where we enjoyed our lunch of salads and wood-fired pizzas for the day. It was delicious. This area of the ship also has several bars where we enjoyed grabbing some non-alcoholic mocktails to drink as we walked around and explored. For those that enjoy gambling, there is also a casino which opens when the ship is out on the open ocean. And for those that don't gamble, there is an arcade, but it does cost extra. And while we were out exploring the ship, something really cool happened. We just ran into some friends, Carol and Reagan from Texas. They recognized us. Hi guys.
Hi y'all.
Thanks for saying hello.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice to meet you.
Y'all too. We appreciate it. Have a great time.
You too.
All right. Thank y'all.
And if that wasn't cool enough, we found ourselves on a side deck of the ship and something amazing happened.
We've actually been on the back here.
We're way out here. You can barely see land.
Oh, I just saw a spout.
Wait,
I just saw a spout. I just saw one. Yeah.
A whale? How far out?
I saw it spray out that way.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
two
more of
sprays,
them.
two
More.
sprays.
See a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch of spray. Whale.
They're spraying.
There's a whale right over there.
Unfortunately, my telephoto lens didn't arrive in time for this trip to be able to capture these whale sightings, but it was so amazing. We had never seen so many sprays at one time.
The thing that is awesome is we're out here seeing this alone. There's 3,000 people on the ship. They're in there playing bingo and whatever else, and we're here looking at whales.
What a lucky time to find that new place on the back of the boat. We will go back there to watch for whales in the future. Right now we are walking along this hallway. These are all the lifeboats. Whew. I feel a little bit windblown. Oh my.
My hair.
Oh my goodness. I need to go in the bathroom and fix this, but. Let's continue our tour of the cruise ship with the Princess Live Theater. This is a small theater where there were game shows going on constantly throughout the entire cruise. These are interactive game shows where you get to be a part of them. And if you prefer a quieter activity, there is a library on the ship where you can grab a book or some games to play with your shipmates. There is also a large princess theater on the ship where you can watch musical shows, magicians, comedians, as well as the ship's naturalists gave talks there talking about whales and dolphins and glaciers. We enjoyed many shows in the Princess Theater. Decks 8 through 15 are where you find all the staterooms on the ship. These include interior rooms, balcony rooms, which is what we stayed in, mini suites, that adds a couch, and large suites on the corners of the ship. These are 2 rooms and include a shower and a tub. Then we have decks 16 and 17 where you come to enjoy the pools and hot tubs. This is also the place to be to get amazing views of the gorgeous scenery from all different angles. And of course, there is more food up here to enjoy, including the buffet and what became one of our favorite places to eat, the noodle bar, serving up hot and delicious soups. And we can't forget the ice cream cone station. This level also includes the Hollywood Conservatory, where you can swim and look out the windows, even if the weather isn't so good. Oh, a giant chess set. This is the front of the boat. We're headed back to the room. I just want to show you how our door welcomes us when we get near it. Because normally it just looks like this. And then somehow it senses us and it's green and it's showing our pictures. Oh, and they serviced it while we were gone. It's all nice and clean.
Amazing.
Wow. Only problem is we need these open. We like the natural light. There we go. Well, I finished my book and took a quick nap and woke up just in time to get ready for our formal night. Mark is finishing getting dressed and we're gonna head to a fancy dinner. It feels like one big long date. Mark and I try and go on dates regularly, but it's never this easy to just like get up and go. So I'm feeling well rested and ready to have a nice dinner out. Dinner each night had a great variety of options to choose from. They had vegetarian options as well as fish and seafood, and duck, chicken, pork, or beef. And we can't forget all the different desserts. We sat at a group table again with this lovely couple from Toronto. When you come back in the evenings, our bedroom has been cleaned again. Just amazing, you know. As a mom, that if I don't clean it, it often doesn't get cleaned. To come back to a clean room every time you leave, it feels like, is pretty amazing. They also give you this paper copy of what's going on for the next 24 hours. It's just really nice to look through and be able to plan out your day, because there's a lot of things added on here that were not added before we got on the boat. So lots of movies, pickleball, art exhibits. I like looking through this, so that's very helpful. We got out of our evening wear and into our fleece, all the way down to my deck boots. Mark's making sure we bring the binoculars, and I'm also bringing along my down jacket. We want to be warm and cozy while we're looking for whales and enjoying the sunset. These white caps are deceiving. You see one and you're like, is that a whale? Heading off from our room, let's finish our tour of the cruise ship. These hallways feel like they go on forever. Upstairs, they have this see-through walkway, which is kind of trippy because you can see it and you can see the water. And they set up these chairs and pillows so that you can watch movies out under the stars. Pretty cool, up on the big screen. They actually also have blankets for you so you can cuddle up and watch a movie. It was getting pretty windy, so I needed to put on my bigger jacket to keep warm. So we got on the elevator, some people were like, wow, you're dressed really warm. Well, it's probably why we're the only people out here, because we're dressed appropriately to be out here. I feel very comfortable in my fleece and jacket and hat. It's still windy, but I don't feel cold. As we continue our tour of the boat, deck 18 is the sports level with a basketball court and some other workout equipment. Our final deck is deck 19, where you will find the Greens mini golf course. We are in the World Market. This is the buffet, and it is open till about 10 o'clock at night. Really, you can eat and be entertained at all hours on the cruise ship.
I was exhausted from that walk. It's refreshing.
Well, the sun has gone down on night 2 of the cruise. We had a wonderful day at sea. Tomorrow's our first port stop in Ketchikan, and we're really excited. We love Ketchikan. We went there for 5 days last year, so we're excited to go back. Good morning, friends, from Ketchikan. We woke up being docked here in Ketchikan. It looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. We're getting ready. Mark is shaving because he is going free diving and he needs his mask to fit him. I'm not sure how we ordered up such gorgeous weather for Ketchikan, because this can be a very, very rainy port. But look at this. So excited to be back in Ketchikan. We spent 5 days here last year for a business trip and absolutely loved our time here. So we can't wait to explore a little bit more. When we were here last time, we did not have a car. Today, we rented a car to be able to get around on our own. Last time we walked and used taxis. I'm excited to explore. This is our shortest port. We're here from 6:30 in the morning till 2:30 in the afternoon. Since it's so early in the morning, we have a few options for breakfast. We are gonna go to the buffet up here in the morning. You can also go to the International Cafe downstairs where they serve the coffee, but I'm sure the line is going to be a mile long down there. And then you can also order food to your room. They have a few options that can be delivered and you can pick your time. We decided to come up and try the breakfast buffet this morning because we haven't had breakfast up here yet. After breakfast, we made our way to the gangway to get off of the ship. As we were walking off, my phone rang and we got to FaceTime with the boys and my parents. They were all doing really well and having a good time and heading off to school. And we headed off to explore Ketchikan. All right, friends, there is so much to share with you in the next 3 port town days as we were visiting and exploring these towns. Because there is so much to share, each of them are going to get their own special video. This will simply be sharing a brief glimpse into the magic that was the next 3 days visiting Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway, Alaska. We didn't do the typical excursions. We kind of made our own adventure, and I hope you enjoy coming along because we really had an amazing time.
You ready for our little seafood sampler?
They come with their own little plates.
Here you go.
Thank you. Ketchikan was a short port day, so we found ourselves back on the ship enjoying food, beautiful sights, and another gorgeous sunset. We quickly found out that our favorite place to eat our breakfast from the buffet was out on the back deck with the fresh air and the gorgeous views, and then we set out to explore Juneau, Alaska, our state capital. And remember, we are just showing a little highlight reel. Make sure you subscribe and come back to see the full adventures that we had in each of these port towns. We had an amazing time. The third and final port for this trip was Skagway, Alaska, and it was a very early morning for us. Because of a rock slide in Skagway, we had to disembark via tender boat and then walk into town. We took a trip on the White Pass Railroad, which takes you on a fantastic journey, but also a journey to the past as you learned of the Klondike Gold Rush that put this city on the map. We also fit in a 25-mile bike ride that was breathtaking. All right, we had a little rest, took showers, got ourselves cleaned up. We're headed to dinner. There are 3 main dining rooms on the boat. We have eaten in 2 of them. We are trying the 3rd one tonight. I think they all serve the same food every night, but the menu changes, so we're trying out the Symphony tonight. We got to go find out where it is. We worked up quite an appetite on our 25-mile bike ride. We celebrated the awesome day with a mocktail mojito. We had salads. I had some yummy chicken dish while Mark had beef Wellington. So many fancy things to choose from, and of course, 2 desserts for Mark because they're so hard to choose from. We really enjoyed our dinner tonight. Our waiter was so kind and just pleasant to chat with. So that was our first dinner, just sitting at our own table. It was very nice. Ooh, we're gonna go to Glacier Bay tomorrow. And they only let a few boats in there a day. There's supposed to be whales, lots of glaciers. So we were reading that there's a ranger commentary from a ranger on the boat. Also a naturalist commentary at different times. So tomorrow is a boat day and we are gonna see some beautiful views. We're really excited. Mark has spent time in Glacier Bay. He went on a kayaking trip with his mom and sister, and it will be my first experience through Glacier Bay. Good morning, friends, from beautiful Glacier Bay. Today is a cruise day. We are going to be seeing glaciers. I've had a relaxing morning reading. I was a little bit worn out. I can hear the rangers up talking. They're starting to do a presentation about the glaciers that we're gonna see. I'm gonna head and get some breakfast. Mark's been up and down all morning while I've been relaxing. He's really excited, so hopefully we can show you some good views today. I'm gonna head and get something to eat. Well, I grabbed myself some breakfast and quickly realized I didn't dress warm enough to be up on deck. Mark's up there. So I came down to eat, and I'm gonna change and make sure that I am wearing enough clothes to enjoy being out on deck all day. So many people are grumbling. I just couldn't believe how many people I heard. They're like, we've been so spoiled. Oh, I see a whale. They're like, oh, the last few days have been so hot, but today we're at sea. We're near all these cold glaciers. You gotta bundle up today. So bring your warm clothes if you come on a cruise to Alaska, but make sure you bring your fleece and your jacket and all your stuff so you can be comfortable on the warm days and the cold days.
Over here we're approaching one of our first icebergs. I think there's going to be a lot more where that comes from. We're just, in about 15-20 minutes, we'll be approaching one of the first tidewater glaciers. We're going to go upstairs and see if we can have a good view.
I am all bundled up. If you're new here, one thing that I try and emphasize about life in Alaska is that we wear proper gear to enjoy Alaska. If it's raining, we put on rain gear. If it's snowing, we put on snow gear and we get outside. Same thing applies for today. I came back, put on the right gear so that I can enjoy being outside as long as possible. Let's go check it out. When I came to get my breakfast, I noticed they had brought some stuff out that I hadn't seen before. They got jackets and fleece, more jackets and vests. They're making sure people have what they need if they didn't bring it. Lots of people walking around with blankets as well. Whoa.
It is
Glaciers make me feel a lot like whales. Every time you see them, it's still exciting. Just also beautiful and unique.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
You might notice that there are no trees on any of these mountains around here because this is still a relatively young area. in the last 200 years, this would have been covered in ice, this entire bay. So there just hasn't been time for anything to grow up in this area.
The Park Service gave us this map to follow along as we're going, and you can see these different lines that show the different dates and when the glacier receded. So really within the last 100 years it's moved 30-40 miles back in, and it hasn't been a chance for anything to grow. This makes for a really stark and amazing
Landscape.
just a very unique landscape. So now we're approaching John Hopkins Glacier in the distance, with Mount Fairweather, the largest peak in this range, rising up behind it.
Very unique looking.
Yeah. There is all kinds of ice back in there. That's amazing.
So this John Hopkins Glacier is 6 miles away from us. We have to stay back far because it is a harbor seal?
Harbor seal.
Because it is a harbor seal nursery. They give birth on the icebergs that float around the bottom of the glacier, and so they protect it and don't let even kayaks go in there for much of the summer. So we get to stay back and enjoy the beautiful view, but we're really 6 miles away, which is incredible because it doesn't look that far. Now that the boat has stopped moving, it is very warm up here. But we just keep pinching ourselves that it's so gorgeous. This guy next to us said he was here last year and it was just pouring rain. So we're considering ourselves very lucky to have a sunny day like this. So right now they are turning the boat so that both sides can get this gorgeous view. I want to come see this other side.
Feels like we're really close to the shore here. Awesome! I can't believe they do this.
So as we look at the mountains around us, every little valley and nook has like a hanging glacier up in it. The one we were looking at before, the John Hopkins one, is a tidewater glacier, meaning it's hitting the water. So that's where you get the calving and the icebergs breaking off. But really there's glaciers everywhere around us right now. Because everyone's spending the day outside today, they've got an extra little bar set up that they've now added.
I can meet you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the hot
Coffee and hot chocolate out here for people to have. There's a naturalist on board named Mark, and he has a very soothing voice. He likes to say,
"This is Alaska. This is why we're here."
it's just so soothing and we just love it. It's just so beautiful. No matter where you look, like when we're down a little bit further, you just like see the tops of the peaks. It's incredible. So we decided to come back down to our room because it's much lower and we're gonna go back by the...
Sorry.
It's okay. We're gonna be going back by this glacier, so we got our front row seats.
Oh, this is incredible.
This is really amazing. Just gorgeous everywhere you look. This is so amazing to be this close to the glacier on a huge cruise ship. You really get an amazing view of this glacier. We came down to a lower level in our room and we just feel like we're seeing it in a whole new light again, even though we saw it from upstairs just a few minutes ago. It's incredible.
This is Alaska. This is why we're here. This is Mark the Naturalist, reporting from the 9th floor balcony deck. Folks, this is Alaska. This is why we come.
We just passed a little pod of sea otters. Oh, one
There's
just
one
went down right
There's
there.
another over there.
They're hard to see because they're so tiny, but you could just hear everybody upstairs just like, it was like they erupted with excitement up there as we passed this group of like 10 sea otters. It was fun to hear everybody so excited to see them.
As we approached, there were about a dozen sea otters on this iceberg, and they've all jumped off or swimming in the water up and down. You can see them popping their heads out. Oh, cool. Look at that. All these sea otters here is a testament to this being a national park. When I came here 20 years ago, we didn't see a single sea otter, and they were hunted almost to extinction in the late 1800s. And slowly they've been coming back, and you can tell in the last 20 years they've really surged in population. So. There's another dozen or actually almost 20 sea otters out there. So many icebergs.
We are now approaching Marjorie Glacier.
Oh wow, there's calving.
It's calving.
Wow, it's calving.
Oh, it's calving. See?
I was so busy watching, I almost forgot to take pictures.
So while we've been watching, a big chunk of ice just fell off of the glacier there, and you can see it splash the water up high. They're rotating the ship just gradually so that people on all different sides of the ship can get a view of the glacier. We're kind of walking around the ship just to make sure we can maximize our views.
All right, let's do it. Here's this picture.
Lower view, and then
Picked up some hot chocolate here on the deck to help warm up. It's nice.
okay, we made our way back to the room to get an even different perspective. Front row seats to this spectacular glacier. Well, we feel very lucky. They've been doing a turn. We've been in front of this Marjorie Glacier for about an hour now and just had fantastic views from every angle. There's actually a smaller boat going in front of it right now. You can kind of see how huge it is.
The park ranger said the face of that glacier is over 200 feet tall at the face.
Not many cruise ships are actually allowed to come in here into the national park at Glacier Bay. Only 2 of the big cruise ships are able to come each day, and then they allow a few smaller boats and an unlimited amount of personal boats to come in here. But the reality is, once you come in here, you almost don't see any other boats, and it makes it really special. After an hour of just watching this glacier, the ship has stopped spinning around and they're starting to motor on out back down to the lower bay. I wish you could stay here a long time. It's just magical, especially on a beautiful day like this.
So I just took a little midday nap. We've been waking up super early on the boat. We just haven't been able to sleep in at all. But we have our stateroom open. This is my view while I'm laying here. It's just incredible. Another day, another bowl of soup. Today mine is ramen and Mark is trying the wonton. Really good broth. This is some of my favorite food on the whole boat, these soups. Moved ourselves to the back of the boat. This has become one of our favorite places to hang out. Just has such gorgeous views. It's quiet. We can eat out here. This is where we often eat breakfast. All right, the park ranger's boat just pulled up and the park rangers are gonna get off onto that little boat. It just pulled up right here next to the cruise ship. There's a rope ladder that gets hung down and they pick them up. All right, off they go. Back to the visitor center here at Glacier Bay. That's so amazing that they get on and off like that.
Go grab your loved ones. I don't care if they're kicking and screaming. Bring them outside, at least for the sail through this area here. And then we're going to be in the open ocean. Then there's plenty of time to go inside. But the best side of the ship now to be on is outside. So we're going to watch together. Folks, this is Alaska. This is why you're here.
Okay, right after Mark the naturalist was telling us to watch for whales, there's some killer whales out here in this part of the bay. Mark spotted them and then, oh, I see him coming up right there.
Oh, yeah. There's only four.
Yay. We got the perfect view. Maybe.
It's the otter.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
Oh, there's a ton of spouts.
5 or 6 in the pod.
Love it when things show up on the right-hand side of the ship. The cool thing that Mark the naturalist taught us about the killer whales is that there's 3 different types of killer whales. So they each get their own distinct name on the end of like their, what is that called? Their species. So there are the transient killer whales, which we just saw, and they eat other marine mammals like seals. And they have the resident killer whales that eat fish. And then there's a third type, the offshore killer whales, and they go down and eat the like sharks, and they eat baby whales like humpback whales. They'll attack those. So they can identify these different pods of whales, and they're very distinct. They only interact with their own type of whale, and they only eat those certain things. Very interesting. So if we're taking stock of the animals we've seen so far, we've seen sea otters, humpback whales, orcas. We did see some like little doll porpoises at the beginning. We saw a minke whale last night when we were leaving Skagway, which I had never seen a minke whale before. They're a bit smaller, and 70% of their blow is done underwater, so they don't have as big of a blow. We've seen harbor seals and sea lions. Anything else?
Seeing glaucous winged gulls, eagles.
Eagles, gulls. It's amazing. We're going to listen to Mark the naturalist a little bit more. So on this map, we started down Vancouver. This was Ketchikan. This was Juneau. This was Skagway. So last night we came out of Skagway, and then 5 is Glacier Bay. We went up and are now coming back out to the open ocean to come this way to get up to Whittier. So this Glacier Bay just continues to have amazing glaciers. There's a huge glacier there at the bottom of Mount Abbey. Is that what you said it was? It's just a whole ice field. Like that whole bottom of that is a tidewater glacier. It's amazing. This weather just continues to be fantastic. It just like, it blows my mind that it has stayed nice for this entire trip from Vancouver all the way to here. It is supposed to be raining when we get to Whittier, so it may burst our bubble of a perfect bluebird trip, but no complaints. This is incredible. Well, it's just about dinner time. We made reservations each night before we got on the ship, but we have found that it's really easy to adjust our dinner reservations, which was a pleasant surprise. So if we ate a late lunch, we could push our dinner later. If there was a show we wanted to watch, we could push our dinner earlier. There was just lots of options, and I kind of felt like maybe before we got on the boat it was going to be set in stone, but it's been really easy to adjust it. We've also been able to look at the menus before we go, which is kind of fun, so that you don't have to crawl. You can just be in the video.
I want to see the cormorant.
For example, we had our dinner set for 5 o'clock tonight. We pushed it back to 6 o'clock. It should be enough time to be done and go to the show for tonight, and then be back out of the show in time for sunset. What is sunset today? Sunset is at 9:36 p.m. Every day on our little Princess Patter, it tells you what time sunset is, which is really helpful. Sunrise, 4:35 a.m. One of the main reasons we pushed back dinner tonight is because we've just been enjoying this view all day long. It has been amazing the whole entire day. Agreed?
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at these mountains, and then there's a huge glacier coming down right there. What did he say the name of that one was? What is it?
La Perouse.
La Perouse Glacier. We are now in the open ocean and can hardly believe how calm it is out here. It's just unbelievable. All right, we're off to dinner.
You look gorgeous tonight.
Thank you, sweetheart. Dinner was fancy tonight, starting with escargot. I have never eaten escargot, also known as snails, but I figured it was worth a try. They tasted like butter and breading, which they were cooked in. They were okay, but not something that I will crave and order again, but we both enjoyed trying them for the first time. Then we had our complimentary steak and lobster. Other nights, this was an add-on item for like $15 to $20, but tonight it was included complimentary, so Mark and I both enjoyed the treat of steak and lobster. Mark also realized that you can order multiple entrees per night, so he ordered a second entree of ahi tuna, which he also enjoyed. For dessert, they had this beautiful pistachio mousse in this awesome green color, and it had a little macaron on top. It was very tasty and really fun presentation. It was a beautiful dinner with really fun people, and it was just wonderful. We got seated at a group table, so we did not make it to our show by 7:30. Group tables are wonderful because you meet new people, but they tend to take longer. We did get seated next to a beautiful couple from Australia and had so much fun talking to them. Shout out to all our Australian friends. Came back to the room. It's been turned down for the night by our wonderful steward, and we now are getting disembarkation information. Wow, that's a mouthful. Disembarkation. I've never said that word in my life. And we're getting our tickets for our luggage. But we do have one more day at sea, a full day. And we got our little Princess Patter, so we know what's going on tomorrow. Oh, it's getting a little cloudy out there.
Oh. Is that
Oh my
joke?
goodness.
I don't think so.
It's got some fog down on the water.
Fair weather fog.
Still beautiful out. I really feel like every question we would ever have gets answered by the paperwork that they put on the beds each night. So this tells us where we can get breakfast, what time we need to get off, what we need to do with our luggage. It has really amazed us as we've sat down next to people at dinner or just somewhere on the ship and asked them about themselves, how many people cruise a ton. You know, we're newbies at this. We don't really plan on cruising very often. Maybe we'll take the kids at some point, but people that love to cruise go on 20, 30, 40 cruises, and it's amazing. It's amazing to hear their stories, all the places they've been. They just really love cruising. We didn't realize people did it that often. Okay, we missed the show earlier. We are headed to it. This is like a wind tunnel right now.
It is. The view's amazing, though.
On the Princess Majestic, they play all the live shows twice a night, so if you missed the earlier one, you can still hit the later one. We had a few minutes before the show started. We walked by people watching a movie out on the deck, and then we headed to the Fantastic Journey, the most technologically advanced, immersive, musical, and cinematic experience at sea. And they were right. It was a light show, it was dancing, it was music. These shows were 45 minutes in length, which we found to be the perfect amount of time to just entertain us. And we really enjoyed going to a few of these shows. Well, that show was very high energy and fun. Lots of lights. It was like all over everywhere while they were singing.
I just couldn't believe we're on a ship floating across the Gulf of Alaska, and it's just amazing. Lasers and smoke and music and dancing and all kinds of stuff.
Really fun. Another beautiful sunset on the Princess Majestic. Those are mountains out there. This is Alaska. This is why we're here. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Day 7, we woke up to fog and rain on the open water. Since there wasn't much to see, we decided to try out the ship's fitness center, which was really nice, but also very warm and humid. Today's weather is very typical Alaskan weather. We can see the mountains just a little bit. It's raining. Our deck is very wet. Would not be pleasant to sit out here today. This is why we packed fleece. This is why we packed rain gear. This type of weather is very common in all of those cities that we visited, Skagway, Juneau, Ketchikan. So you want to be prepared for those things when you come on an Alaska cruise. We're pretty lucky that it's one of our cruising days that this is happening. We may not be able to see the glaciers that we were planning on seeing today, which would be a bummer, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens with this weather. But this is typical Alaskan spring, summer weather. At lunch, we headed up to the buffet, and they had out all these fancy cakes, which looked really fun and delicious, but first we needed some food to eat. They had a special seafood selection today, so we enjoyed shrimp, crab cakes, seafood soup, and a large salad from the salad bar. It was delicious. Then we went to a very interesting presentation by Mark the Naturalist about dolphins and porpoises. We really enjoyed all of his presentations. Mark just spotted some doll porpoises.
Kind of splashes out in the water.
They splash up.
The doll porpoises,
there's some
they're
right
black
there.
and white, and they're only about 6 feet long. Kind of like a smaller dolphin, but a little bit more rounded
Very
nose.
round. Hey, there's a bunch of them. In the afternoon, the hallways started filling with people's luggage, getting ready for disembarkation the next day, which sadly means we're coming to the end of this cruise. But around 5 o'clock, we put on our rain gear because we were entering College Fjord. College Fjord is an amazing fjord in northern Prince William Sound. It has 5 tidewater glaciers touching the water, 5 large valley glaciers, and dozens of smaller glaciers up in the nooks and crannies. Most of these glaciers are named after renowned East Coast colleges such as Harvard, Yale, and Smith, the women's colleges for the northwest side, and the men's colleges for the southeast side. That aerial photo just shows how spectacular this area is. Mark the Naturalist explained that because there is so much ice in this area, it creates a high pressure lifting up the clouds, which is why we were able to see the glaciers even on this foggy day. In addition to glaciers, we were also able to spot several black bears along the shore here in College Fjord. It was spectacular. This is such a cool view with both of them coming down with this piece of land in the middle. Incredible. This is Alaska. This is why we're here. Mark and I are going to be saying that all the time now. It's getting time to get ready for dinner, but we get to watch it from our deck as we go out of College Fjord. What a treat. We're so grateful that the clouds lifted and it wasn't pouring rain, so we got to enjoy it from the outside. We tried to look at it through the windows. It was just so much better outside. So amazing. Probably said it before, but even being from Alaska, seeing glaciers and whales never gets old. It's just so fun every time. We gotta pack our bags and get ready for dinner. Tonight's dinner is going to be extra special because on the first day of the cruise, Carol and Reagan stopped us and said, "Hey, we watch your channel." Well, we have seen them every single day of the cruise. We've played games with them. I played cards with them this afternoon, and we decided to have dinner together. So we're excited to have dinner with them and their daughter, Caitlin. It has been wonderful to meet a viewer in real life on the ship and just get to know them. It has been one of the highlights of the trip for me. Just as I suspected, our last dinner on the ship was fantastic. The food was yummy, the company was amazing, and we just had a great time enjoying all this food and luxury and just soaking it all in till the last moment.
We just finished dinner and we stepped outside for a look and nothing. We're back down to where the fog's down to the water. You can't even see the mountains that are half a mile away. So.
And it's raining. It's raining.
Yeah, we're getting wet, so we're gonna go back up.
Mark, the naturalist, started saying, "This is Alaska. This is why no one lives here, because of this weather." We live here, we love it. Just gotta dress properly. Well, no beautiful sunset tonight, but tomorrow morning we'll be docked in Whittier. Good morning, friends, from Whittier, Alaska. It is disembarkation day. We have a couple more hours until our group disembarks the boat. You can see the Alaska train here. There's also some buses waiting to pick people up. Whittier is a special town. It is only accessible by a 2-mile underground tunnel. It's a one-way tunnel. On a half hour you can go one direction, on the other half hour you can go back the other way. The train also goes through the tunnel. So this is a very interesting place to come into port. If you look, it is still very much winter here in Whittier. The snow is all the way to the ground. We can't believe that we experienced such nice weather in southeast Alaska. It has not made its way here to south central yet. It is raining today and very snowy still here. I think as we get closer to home, the leaves have come out and the snow has melted, thankfully, but this is kind of a shock to the system this morning. We spent our morning doing the last of our packing. Now we're gonna go get some breakfast and then we will be getting off the ship. Here in the hallway they have the disembarkation information depending on what you're doing. If you're getting on a bus, a train, started at 6:15 this morning, goes all the way till 11:30. Ours is at 8:30. It is about 7:15 right now, so we've got about an hour before we got to get off the boat. So this cruise is actually continuing on another 7 days back to Vancouver. So some people are not getting off at all. New people will get on, but some people are doing a 14-day cruise round trip.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Can weather any storm. sleep. Hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright. Oh, you and I, we got it. Oh, we don't need no more. Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
Well, we made it home, and despite the rainy weather in Whittier, we have some nice sunshine here. And the leaves have come out. There's some green grass. When you leave for a week, your kids seem so huge. Hello. Yes. Hi, I missed you too. Hi, sweet girl. Well, friends, thank you so much for coming cruising with us. It was so wonderful to get away, but it's also wonderful to get back home. Summer is just around the corner here in Alaska, and we have so much planned. Can't wait to bring you along. We'll see you again real soon for more of This Alaska Life.